What's up, everybody? Amber here. Thank you so much for joining us on social media. That's a blooper. What's up, everybody? Amber here. Thank you so much for joining our YouTube channel. If you haven't done so already, make sure to subscribe to keep up with the latest videos. And you can also find me on social media. I believe God has put a dream inside of each and every one of us. But the problem is that we don't take the time to find out what that dream actually is. So I'm going to give you some simple steps of how to get a dream. Just think of baking a cake. It's a recipe you need to follow, a recipe that has it step by step. And at the end, you get this beautiful, sweet dream. So, step number 1, look up. Just look up. I remember a time when I was so consumed in the everyday grind of work. My husband and I, we worked at a church. And of course, like everything else, it had its challenges, but I absolutely loved what I did. I never saw anything beyond that. I mean, I loved it so much, I was like, I'm here for life. But it wasn't until God began to prepare us for the closing of that chapter that made us stop in our tracks to look up. To look up to see that there was so much more that He had for us, that more than what we were already doing. And although it was great, believe me, I loved what I did. It was great. But it was no longer necessary for our future. It was no longer necessary for where we were headed. Which leads me to step number 2. Fast and pray. We felt like the Lord was moving us on and calling us to leave the church we were at. But it was not a decision to take lightly. I mean, we had been there for 13 and a half years before we left. I got saved there. I got baptized there. I served there. I grew in leadership there. That was the only church I've ever known. I had no other church background before then. This was the only church I knew. And for 13 and a half years, I was there. So this was definitely not a decision to take lightly. And the pastors there even made us an offer to keep us. So we sought the Lord. We fasted and we prayed. And we went through all the emotions. I mean, we went through being angry, being hurt. We were just like, God, what are you doing? Why are you trying to take us away from here? This is our family. It's like, what are you doing, God? You know, we were confused. We went through all the emotions. And it wasn't until one day my husband was on his way to the gym. And he was just talking this out with God. And he heard these exact words come from the Lord. And the Lord said to him, do you want their best offer or do you want mine? That was deal breaker for us. That is what actually brought us peace in the decision that we knew we had to make. And it was like, and if I can give you a picture, so like, it was like holding out, like God was holding out His hands. And He's like, you can choose, like it's your choice. You choose. You know, you can stay and be comfortable and continue to help grow this church, or you can take what I have for you. And He's like, it's your choice. It's your choice, but choose this one. You know, that's kind of like what it felt like from God. Then that leads us to step number 3. So if you've done step number 1, which is just stop for a moment and look up and begin to see beyond what you're doing, and then take it to praying and fasting. Step number 3 is to say yes. Say yes and wait for confirmation. When we said yes to God's offer, that's when He began to show us what was in store for us. He didn't show us before we said yes. He was testing our faith. He was asking, are you going to trust me? Are you going to have faith in me and believe in what I say, that I'm going to do what I said I'm going to do? And so when we said yes, that's when He began to show us what was in store for our future. And then he sent 2 confirmations through 2 different people. And these people had no idea of what had now become our dream. The Lord will almost always give you confirmation. And after you've done step 1, 2, 3, there's nothing left to do but step number 4, which is get the step in. It's time. It's time to say goodbye. It's just time to trust God and step out. Our last day at church, it was hard. It was full of goodbyes, hugs, pictures. We felt so loved by everybody and all the gifts that we received. It was an emotional night, but it was an exciting one. And as scary as it was to step out into the unknown, we knew that staying longer somewhere than what was called for us was actually a detriment to our future. And honestly, our heart was already gone before we even had our last day. Did we have the how-tos? No, absolutely not. Did we know what was next after our last day? No, absolutely not. Are we living out our dream right now? No, not yet. But that's what faith is. Faith sees the end result and works backwards. Are we making mistakes along the way? Absolutely. So listen, if you want a dream to be drawn out of you, maybe you hate your job. Maybe you just absolutely do not love what you do. And you're like, I'm just here just to make it, just to get by. I hope this encourages you. I hope this inspires you to just stop in your track and just look up and just ask, what is beyond what I'm doing now? What am I made for? What am I created for? Because what I'm doing right now, I absolutely hate. And I should not be hating something that I'm doing for a living just to make money. Do you know that there are 85% of the people that are working at jobs that they do not like? They do not like what they do. 85%. That is a very high percentage. Don't be part of that percentage. There is so much more beyond what you're doing. And maybe you love what you do. Maybe you're like, you know what? Maybe it's time that you look at what you're doing, you love it, but maybe there's something more to it. Or maybe there's something completely opposite of what you're doing. Just stop for a moment to look up and to start thinking beyond what is already right in front of you. Look beyond those walls. So if you want a dream to be drawn out of you, follow these steps. And also know that this stuff doesn't happen overnight. Just start today, because there's no time like the present time. See you later. What's up, everybody?
Hello.
Thank you so much for tuning in. Listen, this is our 1-year anniversary for this vlog. So we are super excited, and we just wanted to give a special thank you and shout out to those of you who have supported us and who have continuously watched us from the beginning through all the bombings and what have you. So just thank you for being there. We are really here celebrating you. So we want to encourage you guys, keep going after your dreams. Keep going through the failures and the opposition, but keep pursuing what you desire. And we celebrate you.
Yeah.
So we're going to get this candle going. My other daughter is sick right now, so she's not able to be a part of this video. But if she was here, I would have her be the one to blow out this candle, because without her and her help with the editing and everything with the videos, I wouldn't be able to do this. So we'll go ahead and we'll just blow this out. But in celebration of you guys, 1-year anniversary. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Awesome! All right, you guys got your balloons ready?
Yes.
All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3.
Happy New Year.
Happy anniversary!